Hello everyone from the internet and welcome to my video. For today's video, I am going to finally review Jurassic Park Danger by Topps Comic. I have made an unboxing video about it before, so please check it out. It is going to be linked on the upper right corner of the screen right now. So, without making you wait furthermore, let's get right into it. So, before reviewing the book, let's get into the background of this comic. So, initially this comic book came out in January 1st, 1993, which was before the movie came out. So this meant that Steven Spielberg and Universal Studios approved of this comic book coming up before the movie. One of the most intriguing part of the book is that Jurassic Park comic book, this comic book, is an official comic book adaptation of the movie. So as you can see on the upper right corner of the comic, it is written that. And finally, this comic book is the first part of the comic book series, since it is written out on the left corner right here. Okay, now let's move on to reviewing the book. First thing is first, the cover of the comic is the first thing you notice when you look at it. There's this beautiful Velociraptor eye. As you can see, there are details on the body with the scales of this dinosaur, and as you may have noticed as well, you can see the sharp reptilian eye or cat eyes and the red dots in its eye for some reason that I have never seen in any other Velociraptors, which is a pretty cool addition, I'd say, that they added for small details. The only thing that I would complain about this cover is that this Velociraptor has more features of Jurassic World raptors, with the blue pattern or stripes, as you can see, around its eye, which makes me think of Blue the Velociraptor instead of the dull brown colored Jurassic Park Velociraptors. But hey, this comic book came out way before Jurassic World, so I will not complain that much. The back of the cover is mainly promotions for Topps Comics' other universe of comic books, such as WWF, or nowadays known as WWE, along with Spider-Man and Terminator 2. Now let's get into the story of the book. So, as I have mentioned earlier, this is an adaptation of the movie. Therefore, the level of similarity between the movie and this comic book is nearly identical. The keyword is nearly identical. So, this Jurassic Park comic book starts with the iconic Velociraptor brought in a cage with a big vehicle. If you remember in the movie, this vehicle was originally a forklifter, but minor details, as you can see, have been changed. Some fans will recognize this, but there's nothing too upsetting about this modification of the vehicle. Then the story leads to the Velociraptor killing one of the crew, and then we go to finally the Dominican Republic with Gennaro and the Mexican or Latino paleontologist discussing. Then we get the opportunity to go to the Morrison Formation to see one of our favorite characters, Dr. Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, digging up fossils. Then the story goes on to see that annoying kid who says Velociraptors are just 6-foot turkeys, then gets terrorized by Alan Grant, and we see Alan and Ellie showing affection to each other, unlike the movie, which is very surprising if you read the comic book. Then we have John Hammond coming in with what looks like a military helicopter instead of a commercial helicopter, and meets up with Grant and Ellie Sattler. The story then transfers to Doxon and Nedry discussing how to steal the embryo from InGen and get it to Biosyn. And then finally the story goes back to John Hammond, Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, Malcolm, Gennaro, reunited in the helicopter and going to Isla Nublar, and the story stops when we get to see our first dinosaur, the Brachiosaurus. Finally, let's discuss the artwork, since most of Jurassic Park fans love paleo art. So there are not a lot of dinosaurs, bet we get to see the Brachiosaurus at the very end. Although it is not similar to the Brachiosaurus from the movie, on the facial area, as you can see, it is not fully detailed, with the crest being also small, but it is still recognizable as being a Brachiosaurus. But unfortunately, the Velociraptor that Alan Grant was talking about to the kid and was terrorizing him with is not the original Velociraptor design that we get to see in the movie franchise. In this comic book, in my own personal opinion, it genuinely looks like a lizard with a long snout that walks on 2 limbs, and the other 2 limbs are shorter, if I can give my honest opinion. But other than that, the story doesn't hold anything special, yet since it is the beginning of the story, but I am sure it will become better as the story goes on. So if I had to give a rating for this comic book, for me, I'd personally give it a solid 76 out of 100. Like I said, there's not too much action in this, but other than that, as a Jurassic Park fan, this comic book will hold a special place in my collection. So, if you have read this comic book, what is your opinion on the story and cover art? Do you agree with what I had to say and cover with today? Or do you disagree with my review? I would love to hear your opinions in the comment down below. Until then, take it easy and bye bye.